Howdy folks, I'm Silly Hooded Seal, secretly signing stationery.
I'm Amber.
And here's more stationery for us to sign. But it turns out that it wasn't stationary at all, and it was just moving very slowly. So,
Was it stationary on the back of a turtle?
probably. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Gifting My Daughter Presents Meant for My Husband's Side Piece? So back in 2018, we went on a Christmas trip to see my now ex-husband, Joe's sister, Jill. He was acting strange and would not talk to me. His sister, whom I only met one time before, ignored me. We had presents sent to her house, so we did not have time to pack them. I was wrapping presents, and Joe and Jill went outside for a period. He would not tell me what they were talking about. When we went to pack up, Joe was very concerned about his backpack. He could only touch it. I thought this was odd behavior, but whatever. A month prior to leaving, I found a prepaid card in his wallet. I took it out to see what he would say. He asked about it and said that it was for work. I said that I found it and gave it back to him. About a week later, I asked if he was having an affair. He said no, and I dropped it. We have not been in love for quite a while, and I knew that we were heading towards a divorce. Upon return from the trip, something told me to look in his backpack. So while he was showering, I looked and I found 2 bracelets in a gift bag. I took the 2 bracelets and I hid them. All was well until he went to the car to leave. He came storming in, demanding that I give him back the bracelets. I simply replied, "What bracelets?" And he said that he bought them for me for our anniversary next month. He knows that I don't wear bracelets and I actually hate them. So why would he be freaking out if bracelets were for me a month later? He stormed out and we didn't talk about it. I was finally able to get into his phone and discovered the text messages confirming that he had an affair. Part of me didn't care because we were not in love, but I still felt betrayed. 2 years later, we are divorcing. I'm cleaning out the rooms, helping him to pack. We had a very amicable divorce. While cleaning out, I found the 2 bracelets that I had hidden years ago and I had forgotten about. I didn't want them, but our middle child, a 15-year-old female, loves jewelry. We were separated, but we decided to have Christmas together at the house. So Christmas morning comes and the kids are opening gifts. The look on Joe's face as our daughter opens the bracelets was priceless. They were rose gold, her favorite. Her face was beaming with joy. He sat there looking at the jewelry like a deer in headlights. So am I the jerk for gifting jewelry to my daughter meant for my husband's side piece? All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. I mean, he said these were supposed to be a gift for OP, so she was just regifting a gift that she couldn't use.
So I think that Joe's behavior here is pretty bad on a lot of levels. And I mean, I think that some people might say that OP was in the wrong because they stole property from Joe. But I would like to point out that at the time they were married and joint finances, it seems like, actually went to these gifts. So even if these weren't for OP, what right does he have to spend joint finances or, their money on gifts for someone else, right?
Yeah, well, funding the affair partner from joint funds is never a okay thing to do. And again, like to the best of OP's knowledge, he literally is like, these are for our anniversary. So,
Mm-hmm.
she has a plausible deniability.
Yeah, well, I mean, exactly. So if he were to confront OP about it, then they could say, well, I mean, I found those bracelets that you had lost, and you said that those were for me, so I ended up just giving them to the daughter for a present instead, right? And I think that that's enough plausible deniability because, quite honestly, I think that he doesn't deserve to have the bracelets back. I mean, clearly this was all around just not a very good situation. So I would say worst case, OP, it's a everyone's in the wrong type of situation, but very minorly. Best case scenario, I say that maybe this was justified being a jerk.
Yeah, I say OP's not the jerk. I say smooth move, OP.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. You want to hear what the wheel has to say?
Yes, let's hear the wheel. If you get this one wrong, wheel, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah, let's find out what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. Oh, just a little jerk. Just a
They
little
were right
jerk.
away from plausible deniability. If you just nudged over one more.
And it was like, it's too close to call. I say it's plausible deniability. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Today I Messed Up by Letting My Cat Gaslight Me into Thinking That I Was Losing My Mind. And Amber wants to read this one.
So I live alone, and I'm reasonably sure my apartment isn't haunted, but today my cat decided to test my grip on reality. This morning I made a sandwich. I put the bread on the counter, turned around to grab the peanut butter, and when I turned back, the bread was gone. Vanished. No crumbs, no evidence, just gone. I stood there, questioning every life decision that led to this moment. Did I ever actually take the bread out? Had I imagined it? Was I, in fact, the bread? Then I heard it. A tiny, smug little thump. I looked over, and there was my cat, Mr. Pickles, sitting in the middle of the living room floor, on top of my slice of bread. Just sitting there, like it was a normal thing to do, like he hadn't just gaslit me into thinking I needed a brain scan. He made direct eye contact, held it. Then, ever so slowly, he started kneading the bread. Sir, that is my sandwich. What are we doing here? I took it back. Don't judge me, I'm broke. Made my sandwich and went about my day. Fast forward to lunch. I grab a plate, sit down to eat, and my sandwich is missing. Guess who's on the table, sitting on my sandwich like it's his throne? Mr. Pickles. Guess who now has a cat-shaped imprint on their peanut butter and jelly? Me. I am being dominated in my own home by an 8-pound fur ball with a superiority complex. Send help, or at least bread.
All right, folks, what do you think of that one?
I think we should read some comments because they're very fun. And Land of Lost Souls says, cats are such menaces. My last apartment, I'd wake up to banging in the middle of the night and it would freak me the heck out. In the morning, every single cabinet would be open. Every time I closed one, they'd just open back up after I turned my back. Though I thought my apartment was haunted. Turns out my cat just really liked opening the cabinets. She'd paw at them until they opened and then she'd move on to the next one. And Opie says, your cat was running a full-on paranormal activity scam. Classic. Next step would have been knocking over objects just out of sight to maximize the ghostly effect. Static Death Cat says, clearly a sacrifice must be made. If Mr. Pickles has his own slice, will he continue his thieving ways? Alternatively, toast the sacrifice. When it is kneaded to dust, he can have his own where did the bread go moment. And Opie says, I love this plan. A decoy slice. His own personal tribute. But knowing Mr. Pickles, he'll steal mine just because he can. The toast sacrifice, though, poetic justice. Let him feel the existential dread of vanished bread. And Eric J. Pierce says, I'd be happy to send bread as a reward for writing the story. And Opie says, I appreciate the offer, but knowing my luck, Mr. Pickles would just claim it as a tribute and sit on it too. It's a vicious cycle. And then Eric J. Pierce says, I'll include a titanium bread box. And Opie says, a titanium bread box? Finally, the arms race against Mr. Pickles begins. Let's see if he can outsmart this one. Spoiler, he probably will.
All right, folks, well, what do you think of that?
I think it's a fun story, although I don't recommend eating bread that your cat has stood on.
Yeah, I mean, I think, cats can be spreaders of diseases, and I think that that's always important to keep in mind. Like their claws, for instance, can be, spread disease, and other parts of them can spread disease as well. So I think that OP was unwise to eat the bread after that, but certainly, like, if they are so poor that they have to fight for every slice of bread, I mean, I guess you kind of have to pick your poison, starve or, not starve. But yeah, I feel bad for OP for having to eat the bread, but I mean, I think that at least they are taking it with a bit of sense of humor.
Yes. And as someone pointed out, someone pointed out somewhere in the comments, with a name like Mr. Pickles, what did you expect?
Yeah, exactly. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Will I be a jerk if I give my friends recipe cards with a jam that I'm going to give them? I love to cook, and I love to bake, and I love to share my cooking. Every spring and autumn, I make a batch of jam. This spring, a few of my work friends have asked if I could make them jam as well, and I'm going all out. I'm making jam, scones, cakes, and sandwiches for the office, and we're going to have afternoon tea. There are some in the office that won't want to join in, and that's fine, it's not for everyone. But my partner is dead set against me doing this. He doesn't want me to give them jam in the first place. He thinks that I should save it for us. Then he doesn't want me to do anything extra, as he feels like they'll make fun of me for it. But when I said that I was thinking about copying the recipes onto the recipe cards and tying it to each person's jam jar, he completely lost it. He said it was ridiculous and condescending No one likes jams or their colleagues this much, and if I'm going to waste time and money on this, to do it as simply as possible or not to tell them about it. Would I be the jerk if I still did this and copied our recipes onto the cards? All right, folks, what do you think?
Absolutely not the jerk. OP, your idea sounds lovely. It sounds like you have coworkers who are invested in this, and the afternoon tea idea I adore. If I had a coworker who did this, hint, hint, Brian, I would think it was a very sweet gesture. And all of this sounds absolutely lovely. I personally am not really a jam person, but like I would like appreciate the effort someone went to for this. I would not see it as a bad thing. I certainly wouldn't make fun of them. I love the recipe card idea. So if anything, I think you may need to reevaluate your relationship. Why is he being so negative about this thing that you're really passionate about?
Yeah, I think that OP is being very kind here, and the fact that he's being so condescending is a little troublesome, and he's basically acting like OP's hobby isn't something that these people actually want when they've gone out of their way to ask OP, right?
Right. Well, and saying that they'll make fun of OP for making them food.
Yeah.
Like, what circles does he run in where the default when someone makes you homemade food is to make fun of them?
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled. Today I messed up by finding out that my HOA was charging us for snow removal that they weren't allowed to charge for. So this all went down last winter, but the fallout is still fresh because my neighbors and I are livid. When I bought my house, I knew that there was an HOA. It's small and seemed pretty chill, and the dudes weren't outrageous, so I didn't think much of it. I figured the HOA was covering basic stuff like street maintenance and snow removal, which I appreciated since I hate shoveling snow. Fast forward to the first winter after I move in, every time it snowed, I noticed that while the main roads were being cleared, the sidewalks never were. I figured, okay, I guess the sidewalks are our individual responsibility. So I dutifully shoveled mine all winter, thinking that I was just being a good homeowner. Well, this winter we got hit with some early snow, and I started asking around about why the sidewalks never get done, if we're supposed to be paying for snow removal. That's when one of the neighbors told me to check our HOA agreement, which I admittedly skimmed when I first moved in. Well, it turns out that the HOA isn't responsible for the sidewalks because they belong to the city, not the homeowners. But here's the kicker. The HOA has been charging us for sidewalk snow removal anyways. Like they literally itemize it on the budget that we've been paying into. I went digging through old meeting minutes because no one actually goes to the HOA meetings, and it turns out that they've been charging us for this service for years. Not only that, but when questioned, the HOA doubled down, saying that they hired a company to clean the sidewalks. But if that's true, they must be hiring ghosts, because no one I talked to has ever seen a plow or shovel touch the sidewalks. Things came to a head when another neighbor called the city to confirm, and they flat out said the HOA has no authority over the sidewalks. They can't legally charge you for that. Cue to collective fury. Now the whole neighborhood is in revolt. People are demanding refunds, the HOA board is panicking, and someone even called a lawyer to see if we can sue. At the very least, we're pushing for a full audit because now everyone is wondering what else they've been overcharging us for. I cannot explain how livid I am. I spent last winter shoveling my own sidewalk and paying extra for a service that didn't even exist. Edit, oh boy, this post is getting traction. I may not be able to reply to all of you. Edit 2, I just checked their page explaining their services, etc. Ooh, transparency, am I right? They changed the wording. They changed it from clear the snow from the sidewalks to clear snow from the community-owned sidewalks, and added a disclaimer, sigh. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think this is a mess up on OP's part. I think it's good that they finally found out the truth and can do something about this scammy HOA.
Yeah.
What the HOA is doing is not okay. Now, these are city-owned sidewalks. Why isn't the city taking care of them? Like, that is a like if the city is supposed to be clearing them, that is a complaint you can have with the city.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely take the HOA to task for this because what they are doing is a scam. And just because they've changed their words on the website, like you might be able to go through some of those, oh goodness, what's it called? Archive.org has like previous pages of websites, and get the old version of their website with the previous text as proof that of what they were saying.
Yeah, assuming that they did that, right? But I mean, some of the meeting minutes and stuff like that should also
That's
clarify
true.
that,
Yeah,
right?
if you have like the full meeting minutes and everything.
So, yeah, at the end of the day, I think that they need to start actually, trying to sue the HOA for what they've done here. And the fact that they've edited it, I mean, that's going to speak volumes, especially in court,
Yeah.
right? And if people can attest to the fact that they've edited this, then I think that that's going to be even more trouble for them.
Yeah, so I would just say gather as much evidence as you can. The meeting minutes down, make sure you have multiple downloaded copies before they can scrub those from the website. Because it seems like they're just trying to hush everything up and pretend like they haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah, the question is, who was taking this money and not using it for the right purposes?
Yeah, where
right?
was this money going to? Was it going to fund the coffers of the HOA board?
Yeah. And my guess is that it probably was. So I think that OP didn't mess up here, but they definitely need to get the city to do their job, and they need to get the HOA board fired for embezzling funds if that's what they're doing. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here in Amber. She is a joke.
Why did the block of cheese run away from the police station?
I can tell you exactly why the block of cheese ran away from the police station. It's because the cheese was old and moldy and it needed to find the bathroom. And that's because, like, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And that's just how it is with cheese.
It didn't want to be grilled.
Uh,
And today is National Cheddar Day.
Folks, find yourself a block of cheddar. Eat the whole thing.
I mean, that may or may not be wise depending on how large the block of cheddar is.
The larger the block of cheddar, the better.
I do not recommend. This is not Amber recommended. Cheddar is delicious, but eat in moderation. We do not need anyone getting upset tummies on us.
Yes. And I have the special guest tea, some matcha. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, terrific Thursday, Friday Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on petty revenge.
Sometimes revenge is a dish best served petty.
That it is, with the cat sitting on bread.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.